Good morning, beautiful person. Greetings from sunny Winnipeg. Just finished my run, so I'm a little sweaty, but I just wanted to get this out to you right now. If you haven't seen me before, my name is Hadassah Viatar. I am a life coach, a wellness advocate, and I help you make your self-care easy and convenient. But I also love talking about mindset, so that's what I'm doing today. I've been talking for a while about Mel Robbins. Last couple of videos that I did, because I've been listening to an audiobook from her. I like to listen to audiobooks while I run. And she was talking about the difference between guilt and shame. And I did a video about that. You can find it wherever you're seeing this, whether it's on my Facebook timeline, on my YouTube channel, on my Instagram, on my LinkedIn, wherever you're seeing this, you can find the video that I did just a couple of days ago, which is entitled, Is It Guilt or Shame? But I'm just going to do a really super quick recap here, because I want to just finish the thought about the guilt and shame, because my phone was dying, and I wasn't really able to talk about the most important part, which is, what do you do if you have shame? So just really quickly, a recap. Brene Brown, the renowned shame researcher, define the difference between guilt and shame as follows. Guilt is when you feel bad about something you did or didn't do. For example, if you forgot to call your best friend on her birthday, you feel guilty. You're like, oh, I forgot to call her. She's going to be upset with me, da-da-da. Or maybe you came into the house and you had a rough day and you yelled at your kids. Hi, Lil. Nice to see you. Thanks for watching. So maybe you came into the house and yelled at your husband or your kids because you'd had a bad day and it wasn't anything really to do with them. So again, you did something doesn't align with your values. So you feel guilty. Guilt can actually be a good thing because it might make you take action. If you forgot to call your friend, you're like, oops, I screwed up there. Pick up the phone, give her a call, have a chat. Deepen your relationship. I'm quoting Mel Robbins because she talked about all this in the audiobook I'm listening to, which is called Back to Work. No, it's not called Back to Work. It's called Working It Out, in case you want to find it. Working It Out. It's on Audible, and it's actually only on Audible, so that's where you can find it. And or maybe, if you yelled at your husband and kids, you feel bad about that, so you determined you're going to take steps to make sure you don't do that. Maybe when you come home from work, you just sit in your car for a couple of minutes, relax, do some deep breaths. Oh, hi, Brain. And just go on from there and and come in ready to deal with home things and not bringing your crap with you. These are all things you can do if you feel guilty about something you've done. Shame, on the other hand, is when you feel that you yourself, your deepest essence, are somehow flawed, broken, not worthy. And I have to tell you, that is an epidemic, probably worse in the long run than coronavirus, because I have to tell you, somebody like Marissa Peer has made a career of telling people you are enough, which tells you that there are millions of people in the world who tell themselves, I am not enough, or who think they're not enough, and they probably don't even realize it. They think they're flawed, broken, something is wrong with them. And the problem is, if you have guilt of something you've done, you can take action and try and make amends. If you feel that you are a bad person, you're flawed, you're broken, you are a hopeless case, then you're stuck. There's nothing you can do. It's just who you are, and you are a shitty person, and you always will be a shitty person, and you're never going to be successful. And these are the stories that go round and round and round in your head with no resolution. And, if we talk to other people the way we talk to ourselves, we would have no friends at all. As Jen Sincero says, if you talk to other people like well, she was talking about something else, but she mentioned having sorry about the sun, there we go. She talks about having a Thanksgiving chicken for one every November. So, yeah, we would have no friends if we talk to other people like we talk to ourselves. So now the question is, what do we do about it? And that's where I left off in my last video, and I apologize for that. But What Mel Robbins suggests in her book, and it's also something that Brene Brown says, but I have most recently heard it from Mel Robbins, so I will give her credit. Just as an aside, the Talmud says people who give appropriate credit bring redemption to the world. So there you go. Let's bring redemption to the world. Always give credit if you learn something from somebody. So, look at me. That's okay. Never mind. So, what does Mel Robbins say to do about it if you find yourself stuck in a shame spiral? If you find yourself telling yourself terrible things, I'm not worthy, I'm stupid, I never get it right, I'll never make it, I'm just a terrible person, etc., etc. If you find yourself in this story, first thing to do is to recognize that it's a story you're telling yourself. That's really important because, we very often set these beliefs about ourselves when we're very young. And it never occurs to us that it's just a story, just like any other story. These are just thoughts that we're thinking. And the beautiful thing about thoughts is that once you become aware of them, you can change them. It may not be easy because if you've had a belief that you are stupid or that you are not worthy of success for a really long time, then it's not easy to break out of that groove. Literally, it's like these are actually grooves in your cerebellum where the same neurons fire together again and again and again to create the same thought. But there's this beautiful, beautiful concept called neuroplasticity, which means that we can change. We can change our brain, we can change our thoughts, we can even change our deep-rooted beliefs. And that is just such a beautiful gift that we have been given by whoever created our brains and the rest of us. So here's the thing. First of all, recognize that it's a thought. That is huge already. Just stop and consider it. And then there's some things you can do. For example, if you're into cognitive therapy, which I mentioned when I was doing videos about Carol Dweck's book, Mindset, and then you can go and look for evidence that this thought is actually not true. For example, if you're telling yourself, I am a shitty person, you can go and think about things that you've done where you were not a shitty person, where you were a good person, where you helped people, where you were kind, where you were thoughtful. You can collect this evidence for this and prove to yourself that it's not true. So that is one step. The other thing is, even if you have done things that make you feel that way, maybe you treated somebody badly and now you're beating yourself up and you're saying, I am a terrible person because of what I did. What Mel Robbins says to do is to try to shift from shame to guilt. She says, you are not broken. You may have broken thought patterns. So you are not broken. What you can do is you can consider what you may have done that is making you feel so terrible and try to shift from shame, I am a terrible person, to guilt. I did a bad thing. And what can I do to make it better? What kind of steps can I take to make it better? And sometimes many times, especially if you're a woman, it's not something that you did. It's something that was done to you, which is even weirder, if you will, because actually Mel Robbins was talking to a young woman who had been sexually assaulted twice in the space of 6 months by men that she trusted. What a terrible trauma. And the thing is, she said she felt guilty, and Mel pointed out that what she felt was not guilt but shame. She thought there must be something wrong, fundamentally flawed and wrong about her. Hi, Jody. Something fundamentally wrong and bad about her because these people thought that it was okay to do this to her. And it's a huge step to go from I am broken to I have broken thought patterns. And I should say that Mel urged her to work with a therapist, and I am also not a therapist, to deal with that trauma. But she also suggested just taking the step from shame, which is so hopeless and has no way out, to maybe guilt. This is what happened. This is what I can do. This is she was, the reason she was talking with Mel is because this trauma was having effect about how she showed up in work. She, like very often when people have this happen to them, they tend to become invisible because they feel safer that way. So Mel was working with her on steps she could take to become less invisible at work, because she did want to progress at work and to make go up to a higher rank and so on. Hi, Kenton. So she suggested that she move not from I am broken to I have broken thought patterns, and to think about the things that she was doing as a result of these thought patterns and find ways to take action to make changes, because it's a huge, huge mindset shift from I am worthless to I am doing things which are not optimal for my goals. I should do something different. Those are completely different mindsets. So anyway, my phone is again trying to die here. So I'm going to close this down. If you enjoy this kind of mindset thing, I have a newsletter that goes out once a week, only once a week, just one. And in it, I write very similar things to what I talk about in these mindset videos, and invite people to write back. And we can have a conversation, and I love that. So if you would like to join this newsletter, just drop me a message. I will be totally thrilled to add you to it. If you don't, totally fine too. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Remember, I love you. Drop me a message if you'd like to get my once a week email about mindset. And I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.